and welcome to those two IM guys. I'm James Kennedy and I'm here with my co-host Tony Earp. I'd like to thank you all for coming along, viewing and listening. We've got a really interesting topic today, Tony. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, hi James, hope you're well, mate. Welcome to all our viewers and listeners to the show. Thanks for joining us. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about a very important subject, although it's not always on the top of priority for a lot of people, and that is support and help desk systems, yeah?
Absolutely, and it's one that I know absolutely nothing about. I know nothing about it. I put in plenty of support tickets, you get plenty of them from me yourself.
Certainly do.
Not to mention, obviously, other products and softwares that I've bought, and I get support, but I don't know how that works, how it's paid for, how you put it in place, So,
okay,
Tony, let's do it.
All those questions that you're asking there, James, we're going to cover throughout this episode of the show, yeah? But in one word, if I could choose one word to sum up why it's really important if you're selling any sort of product or service, to have a support or help desk system, so that one word would be communication.
Okay.
You need a central location where your customers can communicate with you, James, yeah?
Yeah, not to mention time.
Yeah, I mean, secondly, as I said a few moments ago, if you're selling any sort of product or service, you need that central location where customers can contact you. Especially when they need your help, they want it instantly, don't they?
Or faster.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. If you do not have a support system in place, what's going to happen?
Well, usually people are going to kind of obviously just message you, email you, and at best, or they're going to go and spit the dummy and say, this is useless, nobody's got in touch with me, this is a rubbish product, and they leave you a bad review, So
if you do not make it easy for customers to access your support system, James, it's simple. They will refund.
Right, okay.
They won't even bother about trying to run around and communicate with you in other ways. They will just refund. And you've lost a customer for life there, haven't you?
Yeah, because they ain't going to buy off you again. No, I totally agree.
No. And some people might say, oh, well, I use a support email. Yeah. But there's a problem with that. What is that problem, James?
I don't know, Tony. What is that problem?
The problem is that a lot of emails, where do they end up?
Spam.
Yes. So if you're only using an email address as your support system, your help desk for your customers, what's going to happen if their emails go into spam?
They're going to refund.
You're never going to know about it.
Yeah,
and it will result in a refund, no doubt about that. And we have no control, James, over email spam systems, do we?
No, definitely not. And it's some even when I go into my spam, sometimes I see some of the people that I actually actively subscribe to and listen to, and I need to mark this is not spam, and hope that they don't go in there the next time.
Yeah, but you said a word there that's relevant. Hope. You hope.
No guarantees.
No. Does the customer want you to hope?
No, they want you to get it right 100% of the time.
Correct.
Every time.
They want to be able to communicate with you. You receive that communication and action it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we've just established, with email, we have no control over whether it sits in the inbox or not. All the different email providers, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, etc., or even your domain email provider, that's usually your web hosting. Yeah. We have no control of what they set the criteria for to what goes in the inbox and what goes in spam, do we?
Yeah, exactly. They hold all the cards on that subject. Yeah, totally agree.
And we can help with that a little bit, James, because we can educate our customers
to whitelist us
on how to whitelist our emails or our support desk links, etc.
Yeah.
There's a great free tool as well. And again, as always, guys, any resources we mention in this episode, I will put in a post in our recommended resources area of our website for you, those two imguys.com. So make sure you go and check it out. after you've watched this episode, yeah. But that free tool is called emaildeliveryjedi.com.
Wow.
Are you aware of that, James?
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Not quite.
Not quite, no. Okay. No, I don't know about it.
What that free tool allows you to do, it allows you to very easily brand a white label, page of all the different email whitelist instructions for every major email provider, James.
Right, that's excellent.
So it's an HTML file, so you can upload that to your website hosting, and then you can include that link in your emails or in your purchase receipts and that sort of thing. Yeah,
I love our calls, Tony. I always find something more to do, but obviously useful. And these are things that I didn't even know about.
The thing is with that, James, once you visit emaildeliveryjedi.com and you enter your business name to brand the page, you literally just download it, and it's awesome. One file. Upload it to your hosting. That'll give you a link for the URL.
Yeah,
and then you just include that in your emails and your purchase receipts, etc. And that's just going to go a long way to educating your customers how to whitelist your email or your domain, etc. Yeah,
that's a fantastic idea. And again, it's all these little things. What I'm talking about is all these little things that you tell me. It's something that's going to make a difference with big percentages of things. It takes a little bit of time. Just another little thing that I never even factored into the kind of process, which is excellent.
Yeah, and that's the entire point of our show and these episodes, James, isn't it? It's to try and give our viewers and listeners these little golden nuggets that they may not be aware of.
Yeah,
to help them with, in this instance, their support desk or help desk journeys. Yeah,
we should really have a golden nugget alert type thing to come up when we're about to do one.
It can be daunting, James, can't it? There's that many options available out there.
Yeah.
That if you don't know what you're looking for,
how do you know when you've
got
it?
How do you know what to choose?
Yeah, exactly.
If there's no one to guide you, you just sort of scratching your head and you may be just taking a punt on a certain particular software that may not be the right solution for you. Yeah.
And I think that's where obviously our viewers and listeners are really getting the benefit, because obviously you're a veteran in this business. You've been here a long time, and you've obviously went through all the trial and error, and you've got formulas and systems in place now where obviously other people don't. And again, I suppose I'm pretty further on than a lot of people in this journey as well, but still learning, still very green in comparison to you, but still enthusiastic and driven, which is really great.
We're all still learning.
Yeah,
we're all still learning, my friend. I learn something new every single day. Yeah,
I need to learn 3 things new every day, though.
And one thing we do know is that a support desk is crucial if you're selling products and services online. It's as simple as that. And a lot of our viewers and listeners may be saying, "Oh, well, I'm not doing that at the moment. I'm just starting out my business," which is cool. We've all been at that stage where we don't need a support or help desk right now. But hopefully, with you continuously educating yourself and watching our shows, that's going to change.
Yeah.
And before you know it, very soon, if you're developing your own products or you start offering your own services online, trust me, you're going to need a support desk or a help desk. Yeah.
Now, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm probably jumping the gun here, but what I've noticed personally when I'm buying certain products from certain vendors is the one help desk, and they've got drop-down menus for all their different products. So it doesn't seem to be a help desk for every product in itself, but they're using one help desk that supports all the different tickets from all the different products.
That's exactly the same as my support desk, James.
Okay.
Why confuse the issue having a support desk for each product? It makes no sense whatsoever.
And that's why I was asking the question, because it makes I didn't realize that you could have them all under one roof, and I think that's really cool. It's one system.
Yeah, you need one centralized location, basically, and that's what having a dedicated support desk or help desk will do. Yeah, with a help desk, what it does, it helps you eliminate tedious tasks, James. You can automate all your workflows as well. So if you've got a team, if it's not just you, if you've got a couple of agents, You can automate the workflow, so you're distributing the tickets, between relevant agents, etc.
And I'm interested in learning a lot more about that, because obviously there is help desks where you man it yourself, and
Yep.
there is people where obviously you've got people doing it for you. So
yeah, and it will definitely improve the communication between your team if you have one, James. Even if you don't have one now, you may have one in the future. Yeah. And what it's certainly going to do is going to improve communication between you and your customers. Yeah. I think that's a given. Yeah.
And I've noticed as well on some of these support desks, when you log in, there is an FAQ section, which I think is incredible, because that then saves those live human resources if you've got those kind of questions answered within the day. But anyway, you carry on and tell us, because I would love to know where we start if we were looking to take on a support desk.
Yeah, another key thing, why it's important to have a support or help desk, aside from the fact you want a dedicated place for your customers to contact you for support and help, is most of these support desk systems, they have reporting and dashboard features, James. So you can get a full picture of what your team are doing well and what they're not doing well. So you can improve things, quicker response times, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Sure.
So you can see statistically what needs to improve. But first and foremost, what you need to do, and this is critical, is make support easy to find.
Yes, within the product.
How many times, and I hate to count on for myself, but how many times have you struggled to find some sort of support link for something you purchased?
Yeah, I feel as if I'm in a maze most of the time.
Yeah.
There's very, very few that, and I quite like the ones that have got the need support, click here to chat. I like those ones that pop up.
You're talking about, you're talking more where it's a software and you've got the in-app.
Yeah, I've seen those. I quite like those.
We're going to be discussing that a little bit more during this conversation, because there are a few different types of ways of communicating with with your customers, depending on what type of product or service you're offering, James. Yeah. But I think it's fair to say that when a customer needs support, generally they've already entered frustration mode.
Yeah, so you want to get them sorted as quick as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing they want to be doing is hunting around for your support desk link or your email or whatever you're using for your support, because they're already frustrated as it is. That just makes it 10 times worse. Yeah.
Tony, I was going to ask a question.
Sure.
This is obviously support, kind of, for me it seemed quite overwhelming. It felt as if it was quite an expensive thing. Is this something that most of the people that are watching and listening right now can afford to do?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to be covering a few help desk / support desk solutions. But a lot of those will have free. Will actually have free tiers, James.
All right. Okay.
Obviously, a big factor as to the cost depends on how many team members you've got. Yeah.
I was going to say, how the higher the cost, the more tiers. No, it's too expensive.
It wouldn't be a show of those two IM guys without a corny one-liner from you, James, would it?
Bloody, I'm here to bring the entertainment.
Absolutely. You never fail to deliver, mate, do you? But yeah, like we've just been saying, they're in that frustration mode. There are lots of solutions out there we're going to cover shortly in the episode. Yeah. So the last thing we want to do is add more frustration to that mindset the customer's already in. Yeah. And what you can do to help with that, James, is have a really good FAQ section, frequently asked questions section, especially on your sales pages or your funnel pages and on your help desk as well, because that will answer a lot of the basic mundane questions that a customer may be wanting to contact you about regarding, through support. It may stop them having to put that ticket in the first place. Yeah.
And not only does that save us time, as in obviously either your man hours, my man hours, or the staff, the agents that we're paying, but it gets them the result that they need a lot faster, and that's important.
Yeah, I mean, if they go to your support desk and they see your FAQ section, and what's in the FAQ section immediately answers their question, one, they've got the answer really quickly, and two, it saved you having an extra ticket coming through when you're already probably busy with other tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a win-win situation, basically. And then another great thing, James, to help reduce tickets is having a very informative knowledge base as well, which you can build that up over time.
Yes.
So having a knowledge base as well as an FAQ section is critical.
Yeah. And guys, just to kind of expand upon a knowledge base, it's like when you put in the search bar, how do I do this? And then that knowledge base will then generate various different topics below when you start searching, so that you can actually, it's almost like a Google search, but within your own support desk.
Yeah, that's spot on, James. And that knowledge base will grow and grow and grow over time, of course, because you can learn from the tickets you are receiving, and to stop receiving tickets of the same nature with the same questions in future, you can add the answers to your knowledge base. So you stop the ticket being submitted in the first place. Yeah. So a good FAQ section, great knowledge base that's growing over time will certainly help reduce the number of support tickets you receive. Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, just to give you a bit of information further on that, a study recently conducted by Zendesk, which is one of the top support desk solution providers, it basically showed that 67% of users prefer self-hosted support, James, over speaking to a company representative. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that's where your FAQ section and your knowledge base come in, because they prefer to find the answer there, rather than submit the support ticket and have to wait. That's
excellent. Well, that is excellent, because it's that instant solution. You know, everybody wants instant, especially online.
And to emphasize that, a whopping 91% said that they would use a knowledge base if it met their needs before opening a ticket. So 91%.
So we're only talking about 9% of the tickets then, you know, of potentially what we could be getting through. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, do not underestimate the power of FAQ sections and knowledge base, especially.
Not unless you want to be busy filling out support tickets all day long, every day.
So yeah, I mean, based on that data, it's no wonder that all the major support and help desk solutions offer knowledge base included along with the ticket management system, James. Yeah, they go hand in glove, don't they? It's sensible to use both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few important things that we understand, isn't there, of why we're receiving tickets. You know, we need to understand why we're getting support requests in the first place, so we can fix those problems. Yeah. Obviously, when we can. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, ultimately, it's something that you've overlooked, or something that felt as if it was easily explained in the tutorials and things like that for the product. And obviously, because you know it, you think they're going to know it, and then that's maybe time for you to then kind of redo that video.
It's usually something as vendors, as providers of products or services, we're not even aware of, James. Is maybe something we've genuinely just overlooked
until the ticket comes in.
Yeah, that ticket comes in, and we can then fix the course, can't we? We can fix the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you're not going to then get another ticket for the same reason. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Better to put the time in redoing that one video.
Yeah. Another major reason why we use support desks is we need to make sure that all our support requests, they all go in one place, James. As you mentioned at the beginning of the episode, do you have one support desk for each product?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how crazy that would be logistically?
I mean, that would get busy.
Okay, well, let's say you've got 12 products. That means you would have to log into 12 different help desks.
Yeah.
Etc. etc.
A lot of work, Tony.
Yeah, it makes no logical sense, and it's expensive.
Yeah, because you'd be paying for 12.
You'd be paying for 12 support desks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, one central location, guys. That is the key thing. Yeah. Make sure all your support requests go into one place. Now, support requests generally, James, they usually fall into three major categories. What would you have a guess at those were? I'll put you on the spot now, buddy, haven't I? Sorry.
Yeah, you have 3 different subjects, obviously. Obviously, I would probably have login issues as one of them. I forgot my password or something like that. Would probably the login issues would probably be my number one. And secondly, it's not working. How does this work?
Well, yeah, you're not wrong in what you've said there. I mean, one of the main ones would be, if it's a software especially, bugs. Something isn't working.
Yeah.
It's a bug. Now, James, it could be for many reasons that they could actually be a bug that you're not aware of. And that gives you the opportunity then to, one, be aware of it and get your team to fix it.
Yeah.
2, it could just be something about they're using a browser that isn't compatible with the software.
Yeah, and that happens quite a lot.
It happens a lot, way more often than people realize. Yeah. And if somebody, for example, somebody might be trying to use a SaaS cloud-based software using Firefox. Yeah. When it's only works in Chrome. Yeah.
And on occasions, I get it the opposite way about, but
yeah, it really depends on how the software's been developed by the development team. Yeah. But it could be just something as basic as switching browsers that fixes the bug. But bugs generally is one of the main reasons people open support tickets. Another one is missing features. So someone buys your software or your product and they say, well, we'd like it if it could do this, but I can't seem to do that.
And you know, isn't that wonderful when people come and tell you how better your software would be if you added this, and you didn't have to pay for them to actually come up with that great idea?
And depending on what that missing feature is, James, it also becomes a sales opportunity, doesn't it?
That's potentially an upgrade add-on.
It can be an upgrade later on, yeah. If it's something that's, you know, something
that costs a bit of money,
you know, add to the platform, yeah.
Yeah.
The other category, it can be confusing or hidden features, and that sometimes can be down. To be fair, James, that can sometimes be down to bad training.
Right. Yeah. And again, as we spoke about it earlier, sometimes if you know what you know and you think everybody else knows what you know, and you can zip through things without actually telling people every tiny little step.
Yeah, it can be down to bad quality training. And to be fair, it can be down to the customer not bloody watching the training, to be fair.
Yeah.
I had an instance of this yesterday, so I can speak, you know, from very recent events. Speaking to a customer yesterday, I actually got them on Skype, James. This isn't working, Tony. This isn't working. So I said, jump on Skype. And you know what they'd done? It was obvious to me they'd not even watched the training. None of it. Because there was stuff, it was a WordPress product, yeah? There was stuff, there was stuff installed in their WordPress that was not even in the training to install. And they wondered why it wasn't working. So to cut a long story short, we ended up deleting the entire WordPress install, reinstalling WordPress fresh. And once they followed the training, everything worked. Surprisingly, everything worked perfect after that.
Yeah. So we would usually call that a WBT fault. Watch the bloody training. It used to be an RFM fault. Read the something, I won't say the word, manual when you got a new product from the shop.
Guys, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, if the vendor provides you with training, please watch it. There's a reason they're providing training, yeah? Don't second guess yourself, because trust me, you'll miss a critical step and something won't work. And you'll start blaming the product or the software when it's not actually anything wrong with it. It's something you've not followed. Yeah.
And we totally understand that you're excited. And again, when you buy a new product, it's like Christmas, like it is now. It's like Christmas. You want to get that box open and you want to play with the toy. But the reality is, if you don't know how to use the toy, there's a good chance you're going to break the toy, you know, and we don't want you to break it. You know?
Another example, James, if you go to IKEA and you buy a piece of flat pack furniture and you open it up, what's the first thing you do?
Read the manual.
Read the manual, read the instructions, because what would happen if you left that to one side and you tried to put it together yourself?
You make a mess of it, not unless it's that coffee table with the 4 legs that just screw in. Other than that, everything else needs the manual.
Generally, as we know, with all flat pack furniture, it comes in a million pieces with a build.
Absolutely.
And if you don't follow the instructions to the letter, you end up with
Extra pieces.
Extra pieces.
And IKEA, just for the record, guys, IKEA are not generous. They pay for child labour. They ain't going to give you extra pieces for free. All right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm not a fan of flat pack furniture, James. In my opinion, whoever came up with that concept wants a punch in the face.
Yeah, they're dead now.
And we'll leave it at that. So I tend to buy furniture that's already pre-made.
Yeah, and hopefully from a nice furniture shop that brings two strong guys to bring it in and put it where it needs to go as well.
Yeah,
some of these things are heavy.
That always helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, as I said, bad quality training. Getting back onto the episode topic.
Yeah,
we got sidetracked as usual there, James.
Always.
Sometimes it's down to bad training. It's as simple as that, or customers just not watching the training, James.
Yeah,
that's a common one. Yeah, and the other thing that you mentioned is the other, one of the other main categories that tickets fall into, and that's missing emails. With login credentials.
Yeah,
to log into
sometimes they jump to
spam,
spam.
the members area, that sort of thing. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So
Tony, I'm getting excited. Tony, tell us what ones and how much do they cost?
We're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. I'm not going to cover the cost, because obviously that's down to each of our viewers and listeners to go and do their research and due diligence. Yeah, but I'll be giving them some resources for definite shortly.
Okay.
But let's just cover some main reasons why you need a support desk. So centralized ticketing, we've already covered that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No more lost or duplicated help requests, James.
Yeah, that's right. If they're getting it through one platform, because how often have you had an email, then a Facebook message, then somebody sent you a WhatsApp, and
absolutely,
it just goes a bit mad.
It's the same problem from the same customer that's appearing in several different places. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Also, accountability. So if you're receiving a support ticket, it makes you accountable to respond to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Because again, especially when you're talking about support time, turnaround, reply times and things like that, you want to get that to a level where people are like, wow, this question was answered and fixed within an hour. Yeah. That's amazing.
Absolutely,
because
and it shows that your support system's working. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the ball.
And that's leads us on to reporting capabilities. All the top platforms have these reporting capabilities, James, depending on what level you've got.
Mm-hmm.
And that data, like any other data, is crucial. It tells us what we're doing right with our support and what we're doing wrong and what we can improve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You also remember, because these are cloud-based, you've got remote work benefits as well. So if you've got team members, doesn't matter where they are in the world.
You can just log in and do their thing.
Log in wherever they are on the globe, and they can work remotely on your support desk for you. Yeah?
And that's really useful as well, Tony, because when you think about it, all our customers don't come from where we are, So if we say, for talking sake, we support it in the UK from 8 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. at night. Yep. And then you get someone maybe in India or somewhere else that's in a different time zone, and they can then pick it up from our 6 p.m. the next morning.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid point, James. It allows us, no matter how small our business is, it allows us to provide 24/7 support, even if we are a small business.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, just leading on from the remote work benefits, and your team working anywhere in the world, basically, it allows us to measure agent performance, James, as well. So we can see who's working effectively, who's not, and we can if we want to, reward top performers.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we've already pointed out, single point of communication, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Efficient monitoring and tracking, improve customer relationships. That's what it's all about.
Tony, I'm going to ask you a question. Obviously, it might be something you're covering later on, and obviously it's coming back to pricing, but not actually the software. But for an agent, how would you pay them? Would you pay them an hourly rate, or would you pay them per ticket?
You usually pay them an hourly rate, James.
Okay, right. I was curious to find out if that was something, because
I pay an hourly rate.
So. Right. Okay.
But yeah, improve customer relationships, which is, in my opinion, the whole purpose of a support and help desk. You want your customers to know that you're there to support them if they need your help, and that it's easy to access that support. Yeah. And because of that, it helps you to better resolve problems and the timing of those problems, yeah? Because you've got that accountability, James, yeah?
Yeah.
The other thing, again, is crucial. It strengthens your brand image and reputation.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before the show about somebody that had done a U-turn on a business decision, James, weren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We won't mention it, to be fair to them guys. We won't mention the product. But what had basically happened was this particular product was offered as a one-time lifetime payment. A year after it had been launched, all those lifetime purchasers had then been told that unfortunately they got the calculation of the resources required to use the software all wrong, so they were going to have to switch everybody to subscription. Obviously that caused chaos. People were leaving bad reviews all over the place, and that really damaged within a few days their brand reputation.
Yeah.
Badly so.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that yesterday that particular product and the vendors behind that product did a U-turn on that decision.
Yeah.
And I think that, in all fairness, is a smart move, because they weren't being fair to their lifetime customers, in my opinion.
No, and as we spoke about it, I mean, the thing was there, I mean, that's seed money. That without those lifetime buyers, they wouldn't have had the money to can actually build the platform the way they have. Yeah. And ultimately, they're technically, I look at lifetime buyers as kind of like mini partners. You know, they're not getting any money back, but what they are getting is they're getting access to the resources for a one-time fee for supporting that project to get launched initially. So to kind of do that is really bad business, you know. So
no, it is really bad business. Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm pleased that they've seen the light and they reversed that decision. I think it's a sensible business and moral thing to do. Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, you know, strengthening your brand image and reputation is really important, James, and having a good support help desk and system in place will benefit you from that perspective. Yeah. Now, as we've already established, it allows you to operate from anywhere in the world, offer 24/7 support, even if you're a very small business. Yeah, you don't need a massive budget for this, guys. Yeah. Now, to communicate with your customers, James, a lot of businesses actually use up to 5 different types of support channels.
Okay.
You sound like, you look like you're surprised with that.
I'm actually, yeah. I thought, right, okay, tell me more. Okay,
so a lot of businesses, they'll use email. They'll use in-app chat. Remember when we talked a little bit earlier, we touched on this, didn't we? Where you're logged into a SaaS platform, and in the bottom right-hand corner, usually you've got the instant chat app.
Need help? Chat live now. Yeah.
And usually that's an integration with something like Intercom or something like that, which is an amazing piece of software, guys.
Absolutely, I use it frequently.
It isn't cheap, so if you're just starting out or you're a small business with a low budget, that isn't going to be for you right now. But if you're, if you've got a SaaS platform with a good number of subscribers each month, then that's definitely something you want to be integrating as a third party.
Great tool. I use it daily.
So you've got general chat, messenger bots on Facebook, James. You've got the chat bots, haven't you, that a lot of people are using now. A lot of people also will use Facebook and Twitter to deal with support inquiries as well as their main support desk. So you've got a lot of businesses that will use more than one centralized location. I personally don't like doing that.
I think it just kind of gets a bit busy.
It gets diluted, James. Yeah, I much prefer the one centralized location, but I do see businesses doing that. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea, or?
I prefer the one kind of thing, because again, in previous businesses and other ongoing projects that I work on, I get people sending me a message on Facebook, and then they realize that they've got my mobile number. Then they ask me something on WhatsApp, and then I can't follow the conversation. So if I mess up, It's because I can't read the full conversation. I want to have a conversation in one platform from start to finish so that I can monitor the progress of that chat and how it's been done and what they expect from me and what I say I'm going to deliver. And then once I've delivered it, then everybody should be happy. But if you're sending me a text message, then a WhatsApp message, then a Facebook message, and then you're commenting something on a YouTube video, how the hell am I supposed to follow that? You're not my one person.
I hear you, James. The last thing you want to be doing is having the same conversation 5 or 6 times over with the same customer over the same problem. It's just pointless. Crazy. It's a waste of their time and yours.
More importantly, a waste of yours.
Having one centralized location for your support solves that issue, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But I think what this shows us, though, is that you do need to view support differently if you're using it in an app or a software or on your website, or you're selling a product or a service through other platforms. You've got to look at support slightly differently depending on what you're doing, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think as well, you need to be quite strong in what you're doing. When people then send you a messenger message, say, "Hey Tony, I'm having problems with such and such," I'm like, no problem, let me deal with that. Here's the link for it to set up a support ticket. And because I think I know obviously it's like, but I'm talking to you just now, Tony, they can't expect to have you on hand all the time because you've probably got agents that are dealing with that on your behalf.
Yeah, I think as you grow your business and you scale your business, the demands on your time become more and more every month, James, don't they?
And I was going to say
that's what having a dedicated one-channel support system will help. That's where it will help you, because your customers have got a central place to go to get support, and it's controlled support by you or your team members or both. I mean, I've got a couple of team members, James, as you know, but I help out on support myself when I can as well. If I've got a little bit of spare time and there's a couple of tickets in there, I'll deal with them. No problem.
Many hands make light work, don't they? Now, one of the things I was going to say as well, and I say this quite often in our show, start with the end in mind. Because if you're thinking right now, oh, it's okay, I can handle everything and I can talk to people here on Facebook and they can text me, they can send me a message, it's all right, I've got lots of time right now. Eventually, you're not going to have that time. And more to the point, these customers will then expect that level of service going forward when you are super busy. And that's not something that's attainable, because if you're selling a product that's, let's say, $100, but they're now taking up hundreds and hundreds of dollars of your time every single month, that's not a viable customer, and you've got to realize that the time to kind of profit ratio has got to be relevant in this kind of process. So
no, totally. I mean, it comes down, at the end of the day, it comes down to one thing, doesn't it? And that is educating your customers of the support process. And remember, and that's, as a vendor or a service provider, that's your responsibility, nobody else.
Absolutely.
Make it easy for your customers to contact support through one control channel. And it will make your life so much easier, guys, I promise you.
And I think it is one of those things, as you say, educating them, letting them know from the start, it's like, listen, this is how we deal with things here. This is how I run my business. Because guess what, guys? It's your business. It's my business. I run it my way. Tony runs his way, and that's something that you've got to kind of make sure that you get solid and focused on from the beginning, because your time is the most valuable thing that you will ever own. You can always make money, you'll lose money, you can make money, you'll always be able to make more money, but you can't gain back your time. And
the only messenger support I really give these days, James, is to my mastermind members like yourself.
Right.
That's it. All other customers, because I make sure that my support desk information is easily accessible, in my emails after purchase, in the members areas. We've got a members area. It's very obvious how people contact support, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
And it's the same in, all my members areas. When they purchase, in the emails, it's support. The one link to support is in all of those main places. So it's easily accessible for people after purchase.
And as you say, I mean, you have got a mastermind group that I'm privileged to be a member of as well, and best investment probably ever. but the fact that I can say, listen, Tony, I'm having a challenge here, that's a part of the deal, and I love that, the fact that you come back to me, and it's usually always within an hour, more likely within 10 minutes. It helps a lot.
Yeah, and I think as much as that's my group, James, we're both privileged of being part of that, because we've got an amazing community there. Incredible. Of like-minded people that are all got different strengths and weaknesses and different experience levels. Some are just starting out, some are very experienced marketers.
Yeah.
And more importantly, everyone's happy to help each other.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. Sometimes it doesn't need to be you that actually does the support there, because putting something in that group, and usually we've got some really, I would say probably a good 10, 15 absolute warriors that are right in there, and you've got the answer that you're looking for in no time at all, and they're always eager to help, which I love. It's a great platform.
As we always say, James, nobody knows everything. I certainly don't. You certainly don't.
Well, I certainly don't. I know that for a fact.
Obviously, talking about my particular mastermind group, not everybody in there knows everything. They've all got certain skill sets, and what's nice is that regardless of what each of us want to know, there is usually somebody in that circle that knows the answer to the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the question I get asked a lot, James, is what is the best help desk software, Tony?
Tony, what's the best help desk software, Tony?
Funny you should mention that. I get asked that question quite a lot, James. Okay, we're going to run through a few really good help desk, support desk solutions here, guys. The ones I'm going to run through initially here are all SaaS platforms, cloud-based. So you literally just log into them in a browser. Mm-hmm. No particular order here for these, James, but number one would be Hubspot, which for me is the best all-in-one customer service CRM.
Tony, HubSpot came back in a conversation, I believe, last week as well.
It did, yeah. They've got an AR as well, yeah, and autoresponder, yeah.
Wow, they're not responding.
They're not the cheapest, James.
No,
but they're very good at what they do. And
right.
And
they've got a support desk as well. I didn't even know they had a support desk.
They have a support desk solution as well. And I would certainly urge our viewers and listeners to go, if they're looking for a solution now or in the future, to go and check out all these resources I'm going to mention. And again, I'll put these in a post in our recommended resources area of our website, those2imguys.com. Yeah. So make sure you go there and check it out, guys. Number two, now this is the one I use, James, Zendesk.
Yeah.
Very affordable help desk software solution. I've been using it for a few years. I've got no reason to move from it. It does everything I need it to do. And it's, as I say, affordable, yeah. Mm-hmm. Third one I want to mention is Zoho Desk, ZOHO Desk. And this is one of the best ones for businesses that are growing fast, James, yeah? That you're scaling your business really fast. It's certainly one to check out if that's your type of business. Another one that's used a lot, certainly by marketers, is Freshdesk.
Yep, seen that one as well.
Again, a lot of guys prefer this because it's the best for small to medium-sized businesses. And again, it's another affordable solution. Another one that's really good if you're an IT service business, a IT service management business or something like that, is a solution called Freshservice.
Okay.
For those types of IT-based businesses, really, really good. Another one I want to mention is Happy Fox. We love crazy names, James, don't we?
Happy Fox. He's not a sad fox. He's a happy fox.
Smile on my face when I say that. Happy Fox. And you'll find that this is really good for mobile or field support teams, those types of businesses, yeah. And the reason when I'm saying these are the best for these types of businesses, guys, it's because of the functionality they have in their platform. They're specifically preferred by these types of businesses because they cater, to all their needs, basically, yeah.
And I was just having a look there, just obviously as you're kind of spouting out those names.
Sure.
And some of these start off with free accounts to very, very, very low costs. In particular, as I say, so there's a lot of options here. Don't think this is going to be costing you hundreds of dollars a month. It's absolutely not. Even
No,
at the
James.
higher end, it's nowhere near that.
And again, it usually comes down to how many team members you've got.
Yeah.
That's when you'll find that the prices start jumping up. If it's just you, a free level will
do the job.
work.
Yeah.
If you've got more than 3 team members as well, that's when the price will really start to hike up on most of these guys. So just be aware of that. And again, do your research, do your due diligence. Another really affordable help desk support software is Kayzu, Kayzu. A lot of people, James, will never even have heard of that.
No, I've not.
But if you want an affordable, reliable solution, that's definitely one to check out.
Okay, another one.
And as we've already established, the key thing here is a lot's really going to depend on the number of agents you've got, or that you anticipate having in the future. Because if you're a fast growing business, you may only have you right now. But if you can envisage yourself having 5 or 6 agents in the next 12 months, you need to factor that into your buying decision, don't you?
Yeah. Can you spell Kayzu again for me?
Kayzu.
Right. Okay. Now I found it. Perfect. Thank you, Tony.
Now, another option, guys, if you do not want to enter into a subscription, is you can go for a self-hosted version, James.
I always like those ones, to be honest. I like to, especially, and again, we've talked about this many, many times. See, when you're starting out in business, no matter how low the monthly is, they all stack up and it can become quite expensive. So lifetime one-off deals are always interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, I've got even better than that with this, James, because I've got 3 options that are free.
Tony, you know what I love, don't you?
Free! You like that?
I love free.
Yeah, the 3 I'm going to mention now, they're open source support help desk softwares. One of them is UVdesk.
UVdesk.
The other one, which is a very popular one, I've used it myself in the early days, and you'll find that a lot of hosting providers have this as a one-click install in your hosting, and it's called OS Desk, or OS Ticket rather.
OS Ticket.
A lot of the main hosting providers, even on shared hosting, James, you get your 60, 70 apps, one-click installs. You'll find that OS Ticket will be a one-click install on most of your hosting providers.
All right, that's nice.
And the final one I want to mention is Zammad, Zammad. So there's 3 free open source solutions for you guys.
Excellent. There's some excellent resources, Tony.
You can self-host. And guys, go and check those out. Again, all these will be in the recommended resources area in a post on our website. So go and check them out. But, all of these have got pros and cons, James. So you need to do your research, do your due diligence. I say it time and time and time again, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but it's really important you do both those 2 things, because you know what the needs and requirements of your business are. We don't.
And free isn't always best,
Free isn't always best.
No.
And remember, a lot of the SaaS cloud-based resources we've mentioned, like HubSpot, Zendesk, Freshdesk, etc., a lot of those are free tiers as well, which may be perfect for your needs in the beginning.
And it allows it to grow with you. If you start off with a free account, you upgrade to the medium, and then eventually, if your business is flying, you can go an enterprise type.
I would say to anybody looking at any of these resources, don't just look at now, look at where your business may be in 12 months. Because the team members, usually with all of these, is the key factor in the cost. And there's a big jump once you get over 3 team members from the research I did myself previously. So if you know in 12 months time, you could potentially have 5 or 6 team members, you need to be looking at what the cost of that solution you're thinking of buying into is going to be in 12 months' time, because it may not be the one to buy right now based on that knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, if you there's no point in going and learning a system and building a system up to then walk away from it in 12 months' time. It makes sense to get in the right platform at the right time, right now, and obviously grow with.
Yeah, and factor in where you're likely to be in a few months' time or a year's time, because that's going to be valuable to take into consideration in your buying decision. Another top tip as well, James, is check on Envato and Code Canyon.
Okay.
They're not free on there, of course, but they will have some really good self-hosted support desk and help desk solutions. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's a good one.
And another top tip for Envato is make sure if you do buy anything off there, not just a support desk, help desk solution, but make sure you're buying from a premium vendor, one that's been on the platform a long time. You do get some that only sell, they're exclusive to Envato as well, to Code Canyon. That the product's going to be supported long term, if you watch out for that.
It's a great platform, Envato. They do pretty much.
Yeah, they do some really good stuff. But James, you've got to do your research, because you've got vendors on there of all different shapes and sizes and experience levels. And if you want to buy something now, you want to know that they're likely to be around in a year, 2 years time. I've bought a lot of stuff off Code Canyon over the years, and Theme Forest, etc., off Envato in general. And I could probably tell you, and this is why I've mentioned what I just mentioned about doing your research, there's probably a third of products that I've purchased that are no longer available. The vendors have been removed from the platform.
Right. Okay. So due diligence once again, guys.
Yep. That just proves my point entirely. That's why I now practice what I'm preaching to you, and I look at certain things before I make a buying decision on buying anything on Envato. Yeah.
Tony, this has been an incredible episode. It's been good.
No, cool. I'm always happy to share knowledge, James, as you are yourself. I hope it's been informative for our viewers and listeners. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch each and every episode with us. And of course, it's that time of the year, James.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
This is the last episode before 2022, guys. So it's the last episode for 2021. And again, thank you for being part of those two I Am Guys journey and watching and listening to our episodes. We do appreciate it. And if you celebrate Christmas, James knows I'm not massively a fan of Christmas.
He's a Grinch.
But if you do celebrate Christmas, I wish you season's greetings, and I hope you have an amazing time spending that with your friends and family, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. From the bottom of our heart, we genuinely do appreciate you joining us on this journey of obviously those two I Am Guys. We started it off back in May, I think, or thereabouts, and it's been a good ride so far. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Hopefully you guys have learned a lot as well. We've picked Tony's brains, can't have much left. We've been
we're getting some traction on YouTube, James, aren't we? But we're very, very proud of our podcast listeners. Thank you, guys. We've surpassed over 50,000 downloads of the show episodes since we started, and that's down to you. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for that. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you clearly we've got better faces for radio than we have for screen, because people would rather listen to us than look at us.
Well, I certainly have, James. I'm not commenting on you. But, the other thing I'd like to say, guys, is wishing you every success in 2022 with your businesses. If you need any help, me and James are here to advise as and when we can. You will hear back from us personally, not from somebody on the support desk, I promise you.
Always us.
Even though support desks are important, as we've established from this episode.
We're creating a brand right now, and we want to make sure that our people know that it's us behind the brand and not just.
So if you've got any questions, guys, about any of the topics we've discussed or subjects this year, reach out to us. Contact us via our website, via the podcast, via our social channels, below the comments in the video. however you want to contact us, please feel free to do so, because if we can help in any way we can and guide you and point you in the right direction with things, then we're certainly happy to do that, aren't we, James?
But just make sure that you stay on that one information. You know, don't contact us on them all, just one, as we spoke about in our help desk episode. Yeah,
we don't want to confuse the issue. Yeah,
exactly. But thank you so much. Have an amazing holiday season, whether you're celebrating or whether you're not. And we look forward to seeing you back in 2022 for future episodes of Those Two IM Guys. See you later, guys. Take care now. Bye.
Take care, guys. Bye for now.